Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. It is Friday night. It is January 28th, 2025. Welcome to the show. And we have Philip on. We got Lulu on. It was a busy week for me. Tuesday was my birthday. So I'm a year older and still kicking. So that's a good thing. And
Okay.
I did a couple of shows actually this week on a different channel. A guy out in Africa, Chris Webb, and he's kind of been following the Chikumbutso ultrasonic generator, the one out in Zimbabwe. That guy. So there's another guy, Lloyd Stovall. He's from the U.S. and he says he's replicated basically the same kind of system that Chikumbutso worked on. And so he did a couple of interviews. He had a guy come on, and they basically got into a yelling match on the show, and it got
Oh,
got pretty nasty there.
Oh,
So that was okay to a point. After a while, it actually got irritating to listen to it because the guy that was talking to him was getting a little loud, a little belligerent with him, and it just kind of spoiled the show. So, anyways, that same guy that was ripping into um, to Lloyd Stovall, he was talking to me, and I was showing my battery device. So I'm going to show that interview tonight. And then there was another guy that came into the picture. He's from Britain. Um, this guy turned out to be a complete utter jerk as well. Actually, he was a professional troll, is what he was. That's what I call him, a professional troll.
a troll consultant.
Yeah.
what
But
do they gain? What do they gain out of?
I don't know. Like he would make all these points and then give me like less than a second to respond to it, and then he would just jump right back into it. It's, dude, you haven't allowed me to explain the last six questions you asked, right? So it basically got into a one-person conversation, and I said, okay, I had enough of this. And to make it even better, Gerald's in the chat. So because he did a couple of interviews with Chris Webb as well, and he was in the chat, and as that English guy was ripping into me, he's backing me up. He's like my little pit bull on the side, right? And I noticed he was getting mad because he started using a lot of capital letters when he was typing his stuff in the chat. Oh yeah, live chat is open. Everybody, feel free to ask questions and comments about the show.
Gerald is not here tonight, so I took like 2 or 3 Red Bull and a coffee. So I'm gonna replace him for tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'll put you in the rubber room. That's hilarious. But yeah, it was kind of an entertaining week. It was kind of weird to be on someone else's show like that. I haven't really been on the guy's show before. So yeah, it was kind of different. Talk to other people from across the world, and every now and then I get the opportunity to go on someone else's show. I'll do it. What the heck, right? What do I got to lose?
Yeah, it's more exposure, to the work that you're doing. So it's good.
Yeah, obviously on Chris's show, he likes to get a lot of skeptics come on, and it adds. I don't know if it's a positive thing to the situation. I think it's not positive. That's not what we're doing here. We don't do like a live debate show. We're a bunch of inventors with ideas that are very similar, and we like to throw stuff off each other and see if we can come up with something better or answer a question that somebody was trying to figure out, and vice versa, right? So that's more of the content I like to put out. Chris's show, unfortunately, it's like a Jerry Springer.
Really?
Oh,
Our show is more laid back. It's informative, so scientific. It's more teaching. Like it's not like to dog anybody down. It's not. It's not something.
well,
Yeah.
that's what happens on his show. He gets these guys come on, and they badmouth the guy and say he's not an engineer and he doesn't know his theory, yada yada, and all this kind of stuff. And then when I talked to that guy, I sorry, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a skeptic, and I explained my Renegade device to him. As easiest way I could possibly describe the system. He had no comment. He goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool."
That's
so, yeah, he couldn't really say anything bad about my system because when I told him what's going on in the system, he agreed. Like there was nothing for him, no discrepancy on what I was saying because, he is an actual electrical engineer, right? So what I was telling him, having the inductive reactance and using the spark gap switch to release the current flow from the battery. And when you cycle that really, really fast, the battery doesn't draw current. And I'm explaining this in a very easy way to understand it. And he got it. He understood what I was saying. So in the end, he goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool. I really would like to see that, like this kind of thing." And then the troll came in and just ruined the whole bloody thing. He just ruined the whole conversation completely.
Can't you guys like knock him out of the play?
Well, it's not my show, right? And,
okay.
Chris Webb likes to have skeptics come on, but sometimes these skeptics they really get belligerent. I in some regard disrespectful to the guy who's trying to show his stuff. It's not the atmosphere I would like to be in. The atmosphere that we have. We like to joke around too, as well as talk about our science. It's just a better vibe on my show than on Chris's show. So, I'll go on his show, but as soon as the trolls show up, see ya. I'm out of there.
Has he ever joined this show? I don't know who Chris is.
No, he's never joined our show. He's in Africa, somewhere in Africa. I forget exactly where. But I think he's 7 hours ahead of us, so it's 9:00 Eastern here. So it's already 1 or 2 in the morning there. Right?
Is he in Johannesburg?
Oh, you're right. That's it. South Africa. Yeah. That's where he is.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm not sure if it's Johannesburg, but yeah, you're right. He's in South Africa. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting week. So Philip, now that you're all jacked up on caffeine, room for you.
Look at Philip, all ready to go. Yeah.
All right, dude, this is great. I haven't seen you like this since I met you.
No, but it's decaf coffee I'm taking, so it's gonna last for 5 minutes.
That does not count, Phil.
I got real caffeinated coffee.
I know, but it's 9:00, and if I take a real coffee at that time, I'm gonna be really hyper for the next 12 hours for sure.
Yeah. I could have a coffee and go right to bed.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I could do this.
How can you do that? And I'm like, I just close my eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're that tired, just close your eyes. You'll fall asleep. All right.
So let's
Philip.
do this. All right, the little intro here. I did some calculations, as you can see, early this week, and this one here. I wanted to know about the Planck linear energy density that Salvatore Pais keeps talking about, and that I've been talking about at the same time. And I want to know its real value because it has to do with the force field, the strength of the force field that I'm referring to at the same time. So that means if the Planck linear energy density is very high, then I need a very high current to create a force field. If the Planck energy density is very low, then I need a very low energy to create very low current to create the force field. So it's very, it's proportional. And but to confirm the Planck linear energy density, I reviewed the light bending and the perihelion precession disparity that famously made Einstein famous. And but I used different mathematics just to make sure. Double check using different mathematics. And here, if I'm using time dilation, this is the distance, the light bending, the calculation of the light bending. So the closer to zero, the x is the distance with the light beam and the sun. So the light beam goes like this. Suppose you have the sun here. So suppose you have the sun, you have the light beam traveling horizontally, then it's gonna get closer and closer to. This is the apex here, where it's gonna get this is the closest point to the sun is gonna get, and then it's gonna go farther, be farther and farther, and the time dilation is very low. That's point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10 times minus 6 seconds. So the order of magnitude is minus 6. So that means when the light beam is as it's closest to the sun, there's gonna be a 1 times 10 to the minus 6 second. That's gonna the time dilation is gonna affect the light by that factor. And so it's very low. So that's the real value. But if I change that to what I was thinking, if I change that to let's say if I change this value for the one I was thinking about last week, then I get a very very much different time dilation. I get something very close to zeros, which means that time dilation is very strong and it makes no sense. So if I put it back, that's the normal. The normal is very close to 1. And if I lower this down just a little bit, if I c to the 4th divided by g is 1 times 44, and if I lower it by 1 times 43, just a little bit, then 1 sec. If I lower it to 40, let's say 40. then I get a much stronger time dilation, and yeah, so the time dilation is very different. So, anyways, I tested that. This is the real one here, and I tested that with the perihelion precession disparity. And I get this value 8 times 10 to the minus 6 radian per radian actually, which is the correct value. But if I change the Planck linear energy density just slightly, I don't get the right values anymore. The same thing with the perihelion precession, the perihelion shift, the Mercury's perihelion shift. I tested that numerically, and I get 43 arc seconds, which is a radian, which is similar to a radian per cycle. I get 43, which is actually 5 radian per 5 times 10 to the minus 7 radian per cycle. If I change the Planck linear energy density, you can see here, I can use the general relativity or my finite theory equation in the effective potential here, and I get the same values. So finite theory and general relativity are easy to interchange. It's different mathematics, but it gets the same value. And but if I change the amplitude, then it's going to be very different. So I'm not going to get 43 arc seconds anymore if I change the amplitude of that value. So that means there is, and by the way, like I was saying, speed of light to the 4th divided by g is 1.2 times 10 to the 44 joules per meter. So that's the value of this Planck linear energy density that Salvatore Pais keeps referring to as the superforce. He keeps referring to this as the superforce, but it's really the linear energy density. That's what it is, and it's pretty high. I mean, if it's pretty high, but if you change that value, you're gonna get completely different perihelion precession disparity and light bending values. So that means this value is real. We really have 1.2 times 10 to the 44 joules per meter, and that's actually, or if you prefer here, that's 1.3 times 10 to the 27 kilograms per meter. So we have the equivalent of 1.3 times 10 to the 27 kilograms per meter around us. So that's a lot of energy, and if I'm sure there's a way to harness this energy, and maybe that's, or maybe we need the potential difference in energy to harness it. Like you know the
Yeah, definitely. Potential difference is where it's at. The greater the potential difference, the more energy that you can extract from the vacuum.
Exactly. So we need to create a real void, like a void that has no energy, to create a potential. You know what
That's
I mean?
exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. The greater of the potential difference between, just for sake of argument, the anode and cathode, right? The greater that difference in potential difference creates a void in the middle where, or the dielectric or the ether or whatever you want to call it. That's where your greatest draw of power is going to come from. That's
Exactly. You're gonna get everything you need. You're gonna have a really strong force and acceleration, electric current. Like you're gonna have like all these factors in going on if we can create a differential. And that's all it is. I mean, we don't need to create energy. We need to create a void. That's what we need to do. You know.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly right.
And also, I want to say that I agree with Nathan when I understand Nathan's perspective when he harness electricity from the ground, because it makes sense, because the Earth is has a magnetic field. It's in rotation. It's gonna induce an electric current. So
Right.
it makes
This is a great potential difference.
yeah.
It's a negative potential difference. What better ground is the Earth, right?
Yeah,
It's your
exactly.
ultimate ground.
So it's the magnetic field that because I was confused earlier. I thought it was the opposite. I thought the electric field of the Earth was inducing the magnetic field, but it's the opposite. The magnetic field of the Earth is inducing the electric field, or that creates the electric current in the ground.
Like a perfect example would be like everybody thinks a lightning bolt comes from the sky. No, actually, they've showed on high-speed camera a lightning strike. The actual energy emanates from the ground.
No, for real?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
It's true. Yeah, because that's where your true ground is. That's where the greatest potential difference of high energy goes to, right? So,
I mean, yeah, we know it goes to the ground, but I just didn't think it started off from the ground. Yeah.
okay, what did we go?
I thought it was the passive resistance, right? Like where it should ground.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I stopped sharing, but the StreamYard is jammed, I guess.
Yeah.
It keeps on clicking. I could see that my screen every 2 seconds. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Let me try something here. Share screen. Share. Okay. Stop sharing. See if there we go. A glitch. Well, they've added a couple new features in the StreamYard software, and maybe they got a couple of bugs they got to work out. So, okay, well, we're back on the main screen. So,
yeah. So that's the thing. So that means I need actually. So to create my force field, I need unfortunately 10 petaamps or 10 petaamps or 1 tera coulomb per 1 millisecond. So pulses of 1 tera coulombs per 1 milliseconds. If we can generate with 10 petaamps. So yeah, that's what it means. We need a whole lot of current to create a force field. But yeah, I admit my mistakes. If I say something wrong, I'll correct myself, and that's exactly what I did. I'm not gonna live with something with lies. If it's not true, it's not true.
well, you're going to make mistakes along the road. So did I. When I thought it was one way, then I find out maybe a year later it's no, that's not what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So it takes time for the stuff to develop. But I think you're on the right track, though, right?
Yeah, but the force field is possible. Maybe the military got the power to do that. I'm not gonna name his name, but you probably know who I'm talking about. My good friend,
Yeah,
who is in charge, who was in another country. He's a veteran as well.
yeah.
He says that jokingly he says that they have that power, but I'm not sure if he's right or not. I'm not sure if it's sarcastic or making he's honest, or I don't know. It's hard to tell, but he's apparently they possibly can generate 10 petaamps.
That's a lot of current, man. People don't realize how much current that is. Actually, I know this kind of off topic. We had a guy from Hydro One in Toronto get killed the other day.
Oh yeah.
So any listeners that's watching our show, when you're getting into the hundreds and thousands of volts, if you're not savvy with this stuff, stay away from it because it will kill you.
Yeah.
Always take precautions. I've got a couple of really good jolts. Thank God that it wasn't like totally harmful, but can't take that chance, right? So
yeah. But at least my mathematics are
too complicated for my
no, but all of this to say that I've got the integrity right. There's integrity in my mathematics. I'm telling you the conclusions right now. Maybe the force field is harder to build, but we can definitely harness the ambient energy around us.
Yeah, remember that experiment? Actually, this was the video I sent Nathan earlier today. Is where the guy had two round plates very, very close together. Like he basically had a sheet of paper in between the two plates, and he charged the two plates up with 9 volts, right? And then what he did was when they got charged up, they're like capacitor plates. When he pulled one plate away, that 9 volts went to 1100 volts. Okay. And it induced a current because the distance between the plates changed. So now you have a dielectric median. Okay. So you're inducing, the inductance went up as he pulled that plate away really fast. When that happened, the dielectric space in the middle, that's where the field collapse happened. It drew in more power because in practical sense, the other plate shouldn't have gone to 1100 volts, right? Okay. Any logical thinking would say, no, why would that go to 1100 volts? That means there was something going on in between in that empty space.
Okay.
So if it is a dielectric, it is the one component that makes electricity, because there's 2 components that make electricity: dielectricity and magnetism. You cannot have one without the other. Those 2 components makes what we call electricity. It's the reaction of the 2 functions of dielectricity and magnetism. So if you don't have those 2 components, you don't have electricity. But you could split them apart. Okay, you could have magnetism sitting over in here and have dielectric over here. And when you put them 2 together, now it makes electricity. You could actually physically remove the 2 components. So that's what shows in this experiment. When he pulled the 2 plates apart, not only that it was electricity, it increased electricity with the distance and the space and time between the 2 plates.
Can that electricity be harnessed, like from
Sure can. Yep, right into a high voltage capacitor. Yep.
So you can continuously have something that goes like this, like that, harness it.
It would have to be done extremely fast.
Yeah.
Mechanically, that would be a pretty hard feat to do, but I imagine if somebody worked on it, they could probably do it.
The only thing, the way I think, is
Why?
like coils, you know.
Well, that's what we do in my devices and many other people's devices. Instead of having moving physical parts, that's just a demonstration to show when you got two charged plates at low voltage,
Mm,
and when you pull the one plate away very fast, there's an inductance that happens in the space between the two plates. When that distance increases, that induces a high voltage. It's like a slap. It's slapping voltage on the other end. It's like an elastic. You pull the elastic apart and you release it, you get the snap.
hmm
That's kind of what's happened with electricity in the dielectric space in between the two plates in open space, basically, right? So it's very cool stuff. A very simple demonstration. I might even try to dig up that video. I think I showed it on the show once before. Very simple setup, but it proves that this is real. And it goes right into the mathematics, what Phil's talking about, right? Because when you pull the plates apart, that field collapse happens, the voltage jumps really high, you have a huge inductance. And his theory there in mathematics is basically what's going on, right? It's a field collapse.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And that makes the gravity, that makes the well, basically the black hole in the middle that draws all the power into it, the collapse of the field.
Yeah.
What happens to the? You said there was a piece of paper. What would happen to that piece of paper in that center?
Well, he basically just used that as a separator, so
Alright.
the two plates would not make contact. If they make contact, then they would short themselves out.
Yeah.
And the experiment's finished. So he just had the paper there to make sure there was no physical contact of the two plates. So when he pulled it apart,
I'm only asking that because if it's like creating a simulated black hole, does it alter it in any way? You know, does it shred it? Does it light up on fire? Does it? Yeah, I mean,
no, it's just demonstrating a field collapse and an induced current on the other side of the plate. There's an inductance that happens there.
Okay, can I say something else more quickly? I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
Can you see my screen?
No. Yes.
Okay. So remember that the strong nuclear force I was talking about a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, which is the red line right here. The red line. So yeah, you have an electron that goes close to a proton, then the electric field will attract it, and all of a sudden it's gonna get repelled. So same thing with the opposite actually with proton. They're gonna get repelled, and then all of a sudden you're gonna get attracted, which is the strong nuclear force. But I can explain very easily that the strong nuclear force using some basic mathematics, which is the differential of the kinetic energy times the time dilation squared. This function here. So that's what I was talking about a couple of months ago. I'm not going to go back into that, but what's really weird is I need to remove the gravitational ambient energy density, the Planck linear energy density that I was talking about. I need to take it out, but if I take it out, I got the exact same values that are observed in with experiments. So that means the Planck linear energy density is not effective at very low scales.
Right.
So
the gravitational constant wouldn't really be a big factor in a small device. But if you scale it up to millions of volts and billions of amps, then the gravitational constant in that equation would be apparent, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because they say gravity is probably one of the weakest forces in the universe.
Yeah, but it's still ambient. It should be ambient at whatever scale you are. It should be there even if you're at very low scales.
Right. Even at a low scale, will it really have that much of an influence on your theory?
Well, in all logic, if I want to use the same equations to explain the atom and the black hole and the solar system, then yes, I need to integrate it at all scales. And if I integrate it, the curve is going to be very different.
Yeah, but I guess what my point is, to detect that fluctuation with a gravitational constant at a small value that you're talking about, it would be a lot easier and more visible to the equation if you're talking in millions of volts and millions of amps. It would be more apparent, more visible.
Yeah, but in that case, I would bring the low scale to a macro scale. I would can I bring the electric forces at a micro scale that we could observe, then yes, the gravitational field will be effective, and it is effective at the macro scale. So, but
are we able to detect that though, other than the math?
Well, I can explain the perihelion precession, the light bending, all the phenomenon.
Right.
I can explain them using the correct Planck linear energy density. But if I use this energy density at very low scale, then it doesn't work. I need to take it out. So I'm kind of wondering if it's a frequency thing, a wavelength thing. Maybe the wavelength of gravity is not effective at very low scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. Maybe you only get see the effects of the gravity against your field at a really high potential.
Yeah.
Right? Where at a low potential, it might still be there, but for us to detect that might be extremely difficult.
Are you saying like we don't have the instrumentation for?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, but mathematically, we could get the equation, like the numbers, that it does exist, but detection wise, we can't verify it.
Aha! Look who's here. Aha! The man.
Jerome.
Oh my God. What the heck, you're echoing.
Is that the voice of God?
I was doing that up. I was doing it for fun.
The voice.
It's a little thing my daughter's got. Holy shit, I can pick it up from here. Hi. Crazy.
Sounded like the voice. Sounded like the voice of God. God is here. It was like,
yeah.
I am your conscience speaking.
I am in
Don't
your head.
swallow that.
No. Oh no.
MK Ultra.
Yeah. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
What'd you think of that interview I did that night?
Oh man.
I look at it like he's like, girl, no.
You know what? You did, yeah, like you did well. They were all over you like flies on shit, man. You know what I mean? Like all the engineering came. I was on there tonight. I was talking to the same guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't go all forward on the free energy thing because he was a little locked into the way he thinks when it comes to being an engineer, right? So
yeah, it's
go ahead.
it's like you're trying to talk to somebody that speaks a different language,
Right?
right?
He wants you to learn his language,
Right,
but he doesn't want to learn the language you're trying to speak.
right.
It means the same
Exactly.
thing. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
My
exactly.
way or the highway. That's
Yeah,
the
like
way.
that English dude just irritated me right from like first 3 minutes of him talking.
You know, that English dude, I was commenting to him, being nice in the comment section. The next day I went and I watched all of his videos, like, well, not all of them, but a good part. Yeah, there's nothing to back up his
He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm an
debunking.
electric." Yeah, he goes, "I'm an electrical engineer, but I'm not in the profession." Like,
Yeah, there was
whatever.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
If you watched any of his videos, like his last video, he talks about how free energy is bullshit and how it's always somebody from God who had a message from God or a dream, and it's always never proven, and it's always, and he goes on and he literally knocks everything off the board that we use as argument points to get our point across.
right?
Just open their mind, right?
Yeah.
So,
his mind is closed. Obviously,
Yeah,
closed.
I agree with all of you guys. I just showed the mathematics. We are in a very strong ambient energy density, linear energy density, and to harness it, we need to create a true void to create a differential. You know, a potential.
Yep. Potential
I know.
difference. It's potential difference.
Why, Phil? Do you want to come down and open a wormhole? Come on by, man. We'll open a portal. No
A
idea
portal,
where
yeah.
it's gonna go, man. Okay?
I'm in.
You're gonna have to come
I'll
down.
go.
We'll open it all together, and we'll see where we're gonna end up.
Yeah.
as long as I don't have to pay the plane
well,
tickets
I know.
anymore.
We'll end up on the space station.
Maybe,
My gosh,
maybe.
Could you imagine us four on the space station?
Well, the ancients, there was like this legend of the ancients, how they used to travel between places all over the planet through portals.
Yeah.
So if we open one, we may end up in Paris or something. You never know,
Yeah,
right?
right. I like French food.
So do I, but getting back may be another thing.
No, we should make portals like, we should make portals between us for real. Like, hey, we'll go to Montreal, we'll go to, like the
Yeah.
Well, see, I wonder.
There's
That
a
would be a
tribute.
good test.
There's a tribute to Pantera tomorrow. You guys come over tomorrow.
Oh, is there? Oh, in
Pantera.
Montreal.
That's an old band. Haven't heard them in a while.
I've been listening to Sepultura for like the last year.
Lulu had a good idea. What if we opened or constructed a coiled system that's going to perhaps open a portal? We'd have to have the identical one in another spot just to see if it works. I'll tell you this. You know how I've been doing research and not talking a lot about it. There's a video that I put out on my channel a while back where there's two identical coils, and there's a ferrite core that's just hanging from string, not even close to the coils.
Yeah.
And I pulse the primary of one coil, and I pulse the secondary of the other coil, and the ferrite picks both that energy up. So here's my point. Those two coils were interacting because they were identical. I was pulsing the primary of this one and affecting the secondary of this one.
Yeah.
So if we could open a portal, that's the first step. Having two coils in different spaces interacting with each other. So that's one step. We're there.
Yeah.
We have a few more to go, but
go ahead.
Yeah, so we need to create like I don't know if we can create a natural wormhole, but I know it's possible to create an artificial one with a tunnel. We block the gravitational potential, the gravity, So you get a true void inside it, and you can travel faster than the speed of light within that tunnel.
What you're doing is you're going to use sound to tap gravity to travel on a wave of light. That's how you would get through a wormhole. You would use gravity to tap the hole. The
Yeah.
sound would actually help. And then that pinpoint of light that goes from the first open door to the next would be sliver thin. It would be like,
Wouldn't that be like quantum entanglement, though?
Or
I'm
quantum
just gonna say it's
tunneling.
possible. That's all I can. I
Well,
show
Yeah,
you? No, but
because yeah, you could take two photons. They could be millions of kilometers apart, and you turn one photon on one side, the other photon will twist with it. So quantum entangling is possible. So if that's correct, that means the wormhole has been created between point A and point B.
I'll tell you this, okay? I can go into it this far, and I can prove this. I've got it on video. I could take one of my coils, the two coils, identical, one of them in one room, one of them in the other, and I'm
Yeah.
picking up voltage from the other one.
Right.
But I can only do that if I start them on together and then move them apart into separate rooms.
Oh, okay. So you have to go establish the field.
Yep. And then I can take it while it's established, walk to the other room. It doesn't have to be in line of sight. And I'm
Oh,
affecting the
cool.
other one.
Interesting.
That's where I'm at now. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think about it. You know what I mean?
I have a question. Like, if you
Well,
get a magnet, and you break it in half, right?
You still get two magnets.
Yeah, two magnets. But would they somehow be entangled because they were originally one magnet?
No, because once you split the magnet, it creates two separate null zones.
Yeah, I know.
That
So
null zone is the most important thing there is in a magnet. My coil concentrates the null zones of the magnet on the inside. So picture like north and a south spinning like consistently like a bar magnet, but in the center is where all that null zone is. It's the same thing as the coils I use. I concentrate the null zone right there. And the north and south would be here. Then it would be north and south here. Then it'd be north and south here. It's constantly shifting, right?
So
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just thinking about what you were saying earlier that you had to start the coils together and then you can pull them apart. Now, how far can you go? Is it unlimited?
I don't know. As far as I've gotten is a room apart from each other. So
That's still
maybe
pretty far.
15
That's still
feet,
pretty-
maybe,
That's still pretty far.
I would say. And I did something else that I haven't replicated yet. I have a
Send a laser through there.
yeah, I'm not going to get into those. Those are different, dude. To even,
I know. I've done a few.
Yeah.
Mine.
I'm going to leave that one alone for now. We'll get into that in the future, especially when we meet each other and do like oh, dude, I'm going to show you some shit about your fucking body. I probably shouldn't be swearing like that, but I forgot my point before that.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. What were you saying before that? Maybe it'll come back.
Philip, you were saying something.
Philip's trying not to sleep.
No, he had a Red Bull and a coffee. Well,
Yeah. Yeah, I had to replace you for a while, so I took like a couple of Red Bulls
Oh, there you go.
to try to mimic you, but now I'm running out of caffeine.
Dude, if I had a Red Bull, I couldn't handle a Red Bull.
Caffeine crash.
Yeah. Oh, that was my point. Cordless phone. So I turned on my coil system and I had it running. I got a phone call from my buddy and I walked outside and I thought, whatever. Kept walking. I'm like, I wonder how far this cordless is going to go. So I said to my buddy, I'm like, it's going to drop off any minute. I'm right outside my house. He's like, all right. I'm like, talk to me to see how long I can go. He's like, sure, whatever. Start yakking. I didn't even think about it. I was a block away from my house. The cordless was still working. So we ended the call and went back to the house. Called my friend back. The system was off. I walked outside. Phone died right away.
You created a field.
I don't know what I did. I just know that it extended the cordless
Extended the rage.
a block.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So your signal, which probably it ran at a Wi-Fi signal,
Yeah, 2.4
probably
gig.
2.4 gigahertz.
Yeah.
It coupled with the field from your coils. and amplify.
Wow. That's kind of cool because my coils are running at somewhere around like 1200 hertz at the time. I've got it written down in notes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You coupled the electromagnetic field at the 2.4 gigahertz and gave you the range.
Woo! I'm going to try that again to make sure it's
what?
exclusive.
And it probably worked because your coils were running at a higher frequency range than the 2.4 gigahertz. But still, I'm surprised that it's still modulated properly, even though there was at 2.4 gigahertz.
And it was clear. I had no static. It was just as if I was right by the receiver. It was wild.
Yeah. Interesting. That's kind of neat.
And did your range without?
Yeah. By a block.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to try it again, but I have to wait because we just got a foot of snow dumped on us and I don't want to walk through the snow.
Really? Yeah, we're getting freezing rainstorm right now. I think it's coming your way.
Add that wormhole. You guys can come and enjoy Texas weather. We're like, it's like 68, 70 degrees.
Yeah, I heard like Chicago hit like 72 or something like that today.
Crazy. My aunt owns a house in Texas.
Zero. Yeah, mine is.
No,
mine's 1 degree right now.
Yeah, we're -3, but there's snow everywhere. We got hit yesterday.
I cannot survive in cold weather. I cannot survive in cold weather.
No? I love cold weather.
I lived in Milwaukee. I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for 3.5 years. Like,
that's cold.
He says it's snowing in Calgary.
Yeah, but like it was brutal. Like, you know, like I'll probably wear like maybe 30, 40 pounds worth of clothes on me just to stay. Yeah.
I've got Arctic gear that's like duck down, right? So it's good for -40. But I think the coldest I've ever been in was -51. And that was in my Celsius.
Without the wind.
That's like deadly. That's like deadly cold, man.
That was without the wind. Yeah, -51 without the wind. There wasn't much
without the wind.
Yeah.
I've been in 44, -44 degrees.
We broke records that year. I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe somewhere around there. I think it was. That was the coldest. What was that you said, Lulu? I'm sorry.
I said I've been in temperature that was -44 degrees, and like you can't breathe outside. Nope. Like so cold to the point you can't breathe.
You have to breathe through something.
Yeah, it's difficult to breathe. You know, with that kind of, I don't know.
Your tears in your eyes could actually start to freeze.
They do, yeah. And it's funny if you sneeze, man, it just turns to like snow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like if you take a pot of hot water and go outside when it's like -25 and you throw it in the air, it basically like almost explodes.
Yeah,
like I do.
Turns to ice crystals everywhere.
Yeah, instantaneously. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Create a coil around your head to heat you to warm you up.
Around your head.
Yeah, but then it might look like a halo. That just doesn't fit, right? Just doesn't fit. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been here.
A few weeks.
Few weeks at least, right? I got to show up.
What other show did you do tonight? You did a show with Chris.
I did Chris Wabe's show.
Yeah.
Or Wobbs, yeah.
Wobbs, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I did though? I screwed up bad. I forgot that I had said I was going to do a live demo. So I showed up at this presentation and everybody was all butthurt. They wanted to see a live demo. So I went over my stuff and apologized. And I'm going to go back Wednesday and do a live demo on the coil system. He doesn't believe that I can charge more than one battery at once. And he doesn't believe that it's more out than in.
See, the problem is these guys here, on their end is like they're trying to debunk the stuff that we do, but have they actually built the stuff that we do? So how would they know?
Well, that's why I've been trying to get into the conversation with them to find out, okay, so you're an engineer, but where are you at? Do you experiment? Do you play with anything? Do you build anything? And when I had told him I had done over 10,000 experiments and have 8 binders and data over it, he got quiet. Because I told him, I said, look, I've built almost everything Tesla's built. Every free energy device that was on YouTube, I built it. None of them worked. That's not true. Mighty Tiger built the Jared Morin washing machine motor thing.
Yeah.
And that worked, right?
Yeah.
But I told him, I'm like, this isn't stuff I'm just playing.
It's like this English guy, you know, he comes off and he talks like he's the authority on electricity. Meanwhile, he hasn't built any friggin' device in his entire life, probably.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't probably even made a crystal radio, for crying out loud.
Well, his channel, he makes fun of people. That's what his channel is.
Yeah.
That's what it
troll.
does.
Professional troll. That's all
Yeah.
he is. I won't give him a time of day, even if he challenges me. I'll be like,
I don't even care if they make fun of me. Go ahead. I hope it goes viral. Make as much fun of me as you want. I couldn't care less. Because I look at it like this. You make fun of me. Let's say it goes viral. 10 million people see it and they're all laughing. But I'm the one sitting not paying any bills. I'm the one with my lights on.
Yeah, exactly.
So laugh away.
Oh, like, Gerald, I just got myself 2 100 watt solar panels.
Nice.
I want to do what you're doing
with
stack.
Yeah, you gotta work so well.
Now, what circuit are you using to step up?
Just the regular 1309, but I'm stepping it up through a coil.
You're not even doing it through a coil, just a transistor?
Transistor, then a coil. Kind of like a buck converter, right? Or a boost converter a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I get my press next week. You know what that means? The alternator is coming to life.
Oh, cool.
I'm at a stage now where, and I gotta say this or premise this, I haven't tested it, so I shouldn't say for a fact I'm getting this out. But if my math is right and all the things that I put into this device, I'll call it, because it's an alternator, but it's heavily modified.
Yeah.
I believe I can pull 9,000 watts out of it all day long.
Wow.
There's 4 brushes on it, not 2.
How many RPM?
4,000 to 4,200 is what I'm playing with.
Okay, so it's going at a pretty good clip.
Yeah. I might have to do a little bit.
It's not crazy, but it's going at a decent clip, yeah.
Yeah, but pulling that much power out. And there's a bifilar coil in the core of it, in the claw. Wow. So there's 4 brushes on it that give it the ability to double its output. That's why I'm getting so much out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how long is the power supply lasting? Like as far as keeping it running?
Well, see, that's where I'm at right now. I have to wait for the press to come in.
Okay.
To do all the next series of tests, and if I'm right, it's gonna run itself, Mike.
Right on. Nice.
Like I'm gonna attach a pull string from up. Like what?
Perpetually?
Oh, there's no such thing. Didn't you know that, Bernie?
Yeah.
No such thing. Hey, you go ask the patent office, man. Perpetual motion doesn't exist.
Except for all the patents that they took in classified as military.
Oh,
yeah, over 7,000, I might add.
We can't count those since they're classified.
So somebody said Bernie 3 times and he just appeared, man.
Hey, right on. I'm going to use that this summer, Bernie. That's it. I need a Bernie party. I'm going to start yelling at the top of my lungs.
Don't do it in front of a mirror, because then you'll see me as you, and so that'll just get awkward.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm still coming out to Calgary.
Heck yeah.
You're not that far apart.
No, last time I couldn't travel, things went sideways, but things have gotten a lot better this year, so I'll be traveling this year.
Very nice.
Hardcore.
Same thing with me and Mike.
We'll have money this year and also be able to travel.
There you go. What was that, Phil?
Same thing with me and Mike. We're not very far away from each other.
Yeah, we should do a big meetup somewhere in the middle. Have a big party.
Yeah, some big
Winnipeg.
Big bush
well,
party.
I'm in the middle, kind of, sort of.
You're in Ontario, though.
Yeah.
You go. Actually, it would be Winnipeg would be the middle. Or Saskatchewan somewhere.
Oh God, not Saskatchewan.
No.
What do you mean? You'd never lose your dog. You could watch it running for 3 days. It's
We'll
so
be able to see the
there.
feds coming for 3 days.
It's awesome.
I've been to Winnipeg when the guys had the friggin' mosquito season. Oh my God. I got attacked the second I got out of your airport there. Oh my
It's
God.
brutal,
So now you know why Gerald loves the cold.
right? Cold's the best. There's no mosquitoes.
Yeah. That's what kills them off.
I'll tell you though, being all across Canada, there's no mosquitoes in BC. Very little.
Yeah, a lot less.
Ontario's
Actually,
bad,
a lot
man.
less.
Ontario, they got Ontario, the friggin' deer flies are like the size of quarters.
And they bite chunks out of you, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're not like mosquitoes.
I got bitten in between my thumb and my index finger. I swear to God, I had that scar for like a year before.
I don't doubt it at all. Those little bastards are evil, man.
Yeah.
And
I
the
got that
mosquitoes here in Texas, they're the size of like little dogs.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Little dogs.
God, these things are.
Birds are running from them.
The alligators with wings.
Yeah.
That's
I just noticed all of y'all are Canadians. I'm the only one from Texas.
Yeah. You're the
We
only
got
Yankee.
Canada and Texas.
Canada.
Texas.
Yep.
Oh, my exes live in Texas. Remember that song?
Yeah,
we're
but
lucky.
she got the best steak, so she beats us all with the quality of the steakhouses in
Oh.
Texas.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
Hey, now I'm in
To be up-
Alberta. I will challenge the quality of steakhouse of Texas.
Hey,
Yeah,
Texas
here's
is
like
man's heaven. It's a
here's like
man's
the-
heaven. I say that. Why? Because you can carry a gun on your side and go eat a steak any day of the week, man. That's like the best, okay?
That's so true. That is so true.
Right?
Although Straight Dope Joe has a good point. We're probably all going to be Americans soon enough.
Well,
but
I love the Americans and I love America, but I'd much rather Canada stay Canadian. I
right?
mean,
we just need actual
they need
democracy.
somebody to make fun of. We need
It's
somebody
an
to make fun
identity.
of. And we're
It's an
brothers and
identity.
sisters. That's the way it should be.
Listen, if like I happen to money falls from somewhere. If I create a huge company like a research company, all of y'all are gonna be part of it. All of y'all. Like this is the condition. Like I'm gonna, these people I need them on my.
Employ all the Canadians.
Absolutely.
The Canada connection.
You can pay
Yes,
us
see?
steak and beer.
And good old US dollars.
And the US dollars, because it's worth more than ours right now.
Bullets and beans. There you go.
Our dollar's taking a bad hit. I think it's like 68 or 69 cents
It's
to the
just
US
brutal.
dollar.
It'll probably get
Oh, it's
lower.
just- it's tanking.
We were as low as 55 back in the 80s.
Really, eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
So
yeah,
it's not- I mean, it sucks, but what do you do?
Trudeau really took it down the toilet or a dollar, huh?
Trudeau was paid to destroy this country. And as much as I want that guy to go someplace really hot and heavy and never see the day of light, he did a damn good job at destroying this country because it's
Yeah. And it's going to be
Especially
smooth for
putting
the
that
next
moron.
25 years.
And now we're stuck with Mark Carney for a few
Yeah,
Well, you know what,
he's
though?
not. He's
We
part of the
shouldn't be.
WEF.
we shouldn't be stuck with that guy. And
No election, right?
if-
Like he was
Hey.
imposed on us.
that election, he's gonna cheat. I'm telling you, he's gonna
Yeah.
cheat, just like Trudeau cheated. That's
yeah,
how he got into power.
he's trying to gain the momentum. That's all. That's his only hope to put the election right now because he has a momentum because he's new. He's the new guy in town.
Yeah,
so he
he's
got
the
some
new guy.
momentum, you know.
You know what?
He's the new guy on Epstein's list too.
Yeah, I know.
He was good friends with Maxwell. His wife's name's on the list. Are you
Yeah.
freaking kidding me?
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's
I agree with
Exactly.
you, but the 90% of the population doesn't know that. You know what I mean?
Then our
Gerald.
population deserves what they get.
Yeah.
Gerald.
Sorry. What?
Gerald.
Yeah.
Mark Carney is part of the WEF. He's
Oh,
on
I
the
know he
board of
is.
directors, as
He
well
was-
as Trudeau.
Okay,
You know
so
what the
Carney
WEF
works for the wannabe king.
Yeah.
Little Phil, the piece of work that he is.
Mhm.
Okay, he's the one
Another
that destroyed.
Epstein friend.
Carney destroyed Europe under his order.
Yeah.
The wannabe king wants Europe and Canada destroyed to build it up in his own image. Because the guy thinks he's a fucking god. He's a piece of work.
Something.
Yeah.
He's a piece of dark matter.
Yeah.
Dark matter, yeah.
Dark matter's useful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we're not supposed to talk bad about the dead, and I may pay for this, but that bitch that he was married to, that dog, that female piece of work.
Trudeau's wife?
No, the queen.
Oh, the queen.
I was supposed to meet that thing, and when she went to go put out her hand, where I put my hand out to meet her, she pulled her hand back like this, gave me the dirtiest look. That thing is a filthy beast. So if she was, what is he?
Yeah.
Saying, right? I know things most people don't, and it's so conspiratorial.
Yeah.
Why is it conspiratorial? Because we were made to believe it was a conspiracy.
Are you talking about the Queen of England?
Yeah, that dog, the one that's dead,
Uh,
buried in a deep dark hole that I'd piss in if I had the chance. That
man,
one, yeah.
I don't know if those souls ever really die. Like those dark souls. I don't know.
That soul, I don't even know if it had a soul. Like, it was so dark. You know how you get an impression when you meet somebody? You can kind of feel whether or not they're
You
decent
feel
person.
them. Yeah. Feel their energy. Yeah.
It's that dark. It's that vibes. It's like there's a frequency. Like
Okay, so I've told you guys all that I was in organized crime. Well, I was also involved with that crazy William Picton, that serial killer, right?
What?
Yeah, dude, I've documented it. It's known. It's a known fact. I was not involved with them, but let's just say this. I knew everything about that guy and what he was doing on his property. I met that guy once, and I'll tell you, the queen had a darker soul than him.
Wow.
And that guy was a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Picton. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you stories that blow your mind, but I don't want to disrespect any of the families that were involved in it.
Do you think she was even human? I truly believe that there are demons in human form, and they do live amongst us. And like the queen is one of them. You know.
That's why they feed on children. It makes sense.
Well, I don't know if she was a demon or whatever she was or it was, but I'll tell you, that was the darkest human or thing I have ever met in my life. And I've seen a lot of dark. I was in organized crime when I was young. I met a lot of murderers and assholes, pardon my language. But that thing, there was no comparison.
She protected she protected Prince Williams or something like that, who was a pedophile. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Prince Andrew.
So was Phil.
Prince Andrew.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew, Phil.
I'm just gonna shoot up for a quick smoke. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we're all part of that, whatever it was. Pictures and who cares, right? Sorry to bring it up.
I don't know. For me, she killed Princess Diana, and that, like, you know, like
Absolutely, she did.
Exposed herself, you know, with that. Like,
absolutely, she did. Yeah, there was a lot of information that came out about Princess Di and how it might have happened, why it may have happened. There's so many theories behind why, and then the stuff that supposedly came out of her mouth that were letters sent to her, one of her best friends or something like that.
There's a recording of Princess Di saying that the queen's a reptilian.
Yeah, and that her son was conceived in a satanic ritual. That was her on tape speaking it. Whether or not it's true, we don't know, right? But makes one think, especially after me meeting that queen. Queen of what?
I heard that they
the
were
bloodsuckers.
I heard that they were doing like hunting parties. They were like getting.
Oh yeah, they got caught with that, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then it stopped, but then there was some kind of controversy around that. Yeah, they were hunting people.
Yeah, they were like letting kids in the woods, and then they started they were chasing them and hunting them.
I thought that
Hunting them down.
I thought that was a movie.
No,
No,
that
it's for real.
they got caught doing that.
Oh my gosh! I remember seeing something like that, like a movie. You know,
That was in a movie back in the 80s with Van Damme.
yeah, like they
Jean-Claude Van
blindfold
Damme.
the kids, they let them run in the woods, and if they get
Well, it was veterans that they were using in the movie. They'd
okay.
pay veterans and they'd run and then they'd hunt them down and kill them.
Oh,
Right? That was part of the movie. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Sycophants, these royal, whatever they are.
I mean, like if you think about it, what if they're not even really humans, and that's why they've taken these, positions of
Possible.
power, because they're not human to begin with. You know,
It's
Well, I
possible.
mean-
Proving it would be hard though.
true. I mean, they've
Ye-
been caught on camera with like weird flickering eyes, and
Yeah, but that could be people would say that could be a camera trick. People could say it's just a trick of the lights. There's so many different things you could say against that.
yeah.
It would have to be full blown in your face. The guy's changing right in front of you.
Mm.
I don't know. Today's day, who knows? They probably wouldn't even believe that.
You know the difference between humans and animals, or wolves packs. The wolves they're gonna put the smartest one to lead the pack,
Yep.
and the humans we're taking the dumbest one to lead the pack.
We put the dumbest one to lead the pack so that the greedy bastards that are sitting behind him could profit. That's why the dumbest one gets put at the beginning of the pack. No other reason. And the
Yeah.
real intelligent guys and girls sit at the back and watch and shake their head and go, this is
No, I've noticed they use the loudest ones because when people are loud, like they
well, you
become
know what they
bullies.
believe, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm naturally loud. I'm French.
Oh no,
I
no, I'm
yell
not
all the
talking
time.
about you, Gerald.
But
No,
You
I'm
know
not
what they
talking-
believe? If
Yeah,
you
no,
repeat it enough and yell it loud enough, people will believe it.
Yeah.
By no means, I'm talking about you. I'm just talking.
No, I know. But I am a loud guy.
Okay, there is loud and there's loud bullying. Loud that irritates me.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's different. Like if you're loud trying to make a point, but there's a loud like.
There's like loud, and then there's like loud.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, totally. So yeah, the stuff I've been working on is getting crazier and crazier. I'm almost at the point now where I don't even want to show anything on YouTube because I don't know what's gonna come from it.
So
You know what I
Gerald,
mean?
how did you end up meeting the Queen? That's the question. What happened?
Back in I'm on live, Austin. Yeah, right now. Okay. So back in 1983, I was in a school in an area called St. James, and she had gone to school in this little church or in this little school. It was a church turned into a school, and she had gone to school there as a kid, and she wanted to visit one last time because the school was getting torn down and rebuilt. So for her, it was like a memory thing. So the school had all the students write poems and little short stories, and whoever won got to stand at the front where the Queen was doing her parade, and she would shake your hand. Well, I won for poetry, and I was the last one to have my hand shook, and she didn't shake it. And that was when me and her had that eye contact. And it was, I'll never forget it as long as I live, even unto death, because there was nothing like it. It was almost like she spoke into my head and said, "Oh, it's you. It doesn't matter." I was just like, what? As a kid, right?
And a kid. Wow.
What do you do?
Man, you had a colored life. You were a champion in poetry, and then you were in a gang or something, or.
Dude, my life's been very colorful. If I told you from beginning to end my testimony, you'd shake your fucking head for one, and you would have a hard time believing some of the things I went through. I have a hard time believing some of the things I went through, and I went through them. Crazy life, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
don't-
too. I
Go
had
ahead.
a crazy life, but I'm trying to do good. But I'm trying to do good, but when I try to do that, the bad is reaching me. You know what I mean? If I try
Yeah.
to do good things, the bad is gonna come after me. You know, it's like
You gotta
no-
be able to accept that the bad's part of you. I got a dark side. I got mean dark side, man. When I used to train, I had rage, right? That's why I trained so hard to get rid of it. But that's still part of me. And I understand that. So if we were to get into a fight, there's a point where I get to where I have to walk away. Because otherwise the rage is going to kick in. And that's that dark side. So
yeah.
if you accept your dark side, it doesn't come at you anymore. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to build a business and things like that, more like that. But now I'm getting audited. You know, the CRA
Oh,
is
yeah.
auditing me and stuff like that. It's like, oh man, it's like they're gonna come here and they have to audit my employer, me, everything around me. It's like it's a whole
Wow.
mess. Yeah, it's more. It's like I'm just trying to do good things. I didn't drink. You know, I don't drink that often anymore.
Yeah.
I used to drink like 3 times a week, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
I know
every
what that's
week for
like. Yeah.
5 years when I was in San Diego, and crazy stuff. But now I'm trying to just work. But now CRA is pissing me off.
Yeah, you know, I'm blessed and cursed when it comes to CRA. I don't submit any taxes to them whatsoever. I don't get a
Is that
penny,
IRS
but I don't
for
do
us?
income tax.
Is
Nothing.
UCRA IRS for us?
Yeah,
IRS for you, yeah. See, it's different in the States, though. They can come after you for tax evasion. In Canada, it's optional. It's supposed to be optional in the States, but you don't have to sign in anything where your income tax, but you can't claim anything either. That's the trick. So if you're not going to claim anything, then don't bother doing your income tax. But if you
That's
own a business, if you're in the game, well, you have to claim. It's all part of it, right? I work outside the game. So.
Hold on. So you could make money in Canada and you don't have to file taxes, but at the same time, you don't get any benefits.
Exactly.
Okay, but what if you're making more than what the benefits are worth? So who cares if to get the benefits? Why? Where's the incentive for making a lot?
It depends. The only way you could do that is with a small private business. You can't, if you were to go corporate or get anything large past a certain number of employees, you have to play the game. You don't have a choice, right? Then you have to do your income taxes. But me, I'm self-employed, private business. I do catering. I do a few other things in electronics. They can't touch me because I don't submit any of my income taxes. But I don't claim anything. I'll never get benefits. There's no retirement for me other than the one I build up. There's nothing. If I was to,
your social security,
it doesn't exist. I don't have one.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's different, right? For me, I guess, because
You know, if they were to apply that in like the United States, I will tell you probably percent of the people did not file taxes because 90% of the people are probably employed, not business owners to begin with.
Yep.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, the States is going through some heavy stuff right now. It's
Hopefully
crazy.
not civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah, Civil War. Yeah.
Let's hope they don't. Because if they do, we should.
Well, bring out your slingshot then.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll send our one submarine.
Yeah. And our 5 guns.
Yeah.
We ain't got much.
And our 2 airplanes that work.
Do we even have tanks? I don't think we have tanks, do we?
I don't think we do,
I
actually.
don't think so.
G-Wagons.
we do, but they're not. They don't have they don't have weapons on it. The weapon because we were not allowed to have weapons in Canada. I used to work. Yeah, I used to work for General Dynamics, so I know. So we have tanks, but we want to add the weapon. They're shipping in them to Chicago or something like that.
Oh, that's insanity.
Yeah.
Wow. What if somebody came over the northern border and we ain't got guns? What are we going to do? Throw ice cubes at them?
That's a long, cold trip, though. If they want our Arctic, I'd say let them have it.
Well, did you hear what Putin just did? He just put in the water a nuclear ice-breaking submarine, and he's going after the Arctic.
Yeah. He's going for Greenland right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what. That's why Trump wants to annex Canada is to take control of the Arctic before Putin does.
They want to try.
Yeah.
I think they're all going to fail.
And I really think these people in power are like big kids. It's like a game to them. It's nothing. Yeah. They don't understand that there's people's lives that are, in their hands.
It's all about the greed in their hearts. It's about that money in their pocket and the greed in their hearts. And I hate to say it, as much as Trump's going to do good for the United States, that is the greediest mother I've ever seen in my life. And that's just because he believes in Apollo and believes that gold is the mighty thing to do. I don't know. I just get a bad feeling about that guy. I hope I'm wrong.
And Israel just attacked Beirut again today.
Yeah. Did you hear about the rhetoric around Iran? Not good, man.
Oh, yeah. Iran's threatening. I heard something about it.
There was a hypersonic missile that hit Israel, and Iran was responsible.
Oh, yeah.
So Trump was freaking out over that. Because the only way they can get hypersonics is through Russia. So it's going to get interesting.
No, it was the Houthis that fired the hypersonic, and they got it from Iran.
Yeah,
Iran actually has its own hypersonics. That's how far back America is. They don't have hypersonics, but Iran does.
Yeah, exactly. Who runs the Houthis? Iran. The Houthis are just a proxy.
I'll tell you what's happening. Do you remember when Biden left all the weapons in Afghanistan?
Purposefully.
Okay. So what happened, these things were bought out, trickled to where, I don't know, somewhere like Kazakhstan and it trickled down to where? To Syria, you know? The new president in Syria, when he took over against Assad, he took over the country. Well, he brought 10,000 of these people armed, militia, pretty much. And right now, currently, there's a bloodbath going on between the Sunnis and Alawites. And you have about anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 people that have died just in the past, couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. By whose hands? By these, militants. Who were they armed by? Biden.
Yep.
So
because Biden's evil.
Like that. Yeah. But I think it was all orchestrated from the beginning. Really, like it's like there was no logic behind him leaving so much, like $75 billion worth of.
He was paid by China to do it.
Did you know what Biden was doing with the taxpayers' money? He was sending them to other countries for same thing with Justin Trudeau. He was sending them to other countries for transgenders, surgeries.
Yeah, they were saying
emotional.
He sent $100 million to Afghanistan for freaking gay research. You know what research they do? They chuck them right off a roof. That's their research.
Yeah.
He gave him $100 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Same thing with
Don't forget the transgender mice that they made with surgery.
Oh my God.
All
right.
Like he's so weird. Like, where is his mind at? Like,
there's no mind.
No, they just want to in-depth us. That's all they care. The globalists, they want to in-depth us. So we increase our deficit. We pay more interest. we feed the banks. That's all they care. It's very simple.
If what my MK Ultra friend told me was true, and she wrote it in her book, and it went through Congress, if it's true, and it must be, because otherwise she would have got sued, then Biden and Obama were both part of human trafficking rings and MK Ultra at its highest levels.
Yeah.
So they don't give a shit about you at all. It's all about money and power. And anybody that gets in the way gets exactly what they want you to have. There is no more honesty when it comes to people at the top anymore. There's no more truth. It's all how much can I get and who can I fuck over doing it. It's all dark-hearted pieces of.
I've heard.
Sorry.
I heard a couple of good podcasts this week talk about Masons and everything, and the whole background with those guys. And
pretty
dark
the
stuff.
royal secrets, right? Did you hear that one about the royal secrets in the Masons?
Yeah.
We can't even talk about that on our channel, so it'll probably get flagged.
Let's shift gears here, guys.
Because you get me started on the Freemasons, I'll start naming names, because I'll tell you, the highest politicians, I got lists, man. 95% of these, they're all connected. They're all either Freemasons or rainbow girls. What's a rainbow girl? It's the female version of a Freemason. So what's been happening to our countries?
The Eastern Stars?
Well, that's part of it, but the Eastern Star is still, it's just a form of the Rainbow Girls, another name. It's like another branch. Right? So everything that's been going on to our countries has been facilitated by the Masons behind the scenes by a handshake and a freaking blink of an eye. Why? Because they don't care about you and I. It's all about power. They want their satanic lord to rule.
Yeah.
Just
hey
saying.
guys, guess what I got in today? Got in my 2 solar panels came in.
No,
100 watts.
Very nice.
Two 100 watt. I got them for $135.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Yep. So
it's cheap, actually. Is that China ordered?
Made in China.
I got this on Amazon, so probably China.
Amazon, yeah.
I
ordered from a place called Sun Gold. You should remember that.
Hey, you guys should watch the link I put in the private chat. It's about JFK UAP files, and I'm adding. Because JFK wanted to release the UAP files and or make them public, so you might want to watch it publicly or privately. I don't know, but check it out. It's very interesting.
I walked where he was killed, like in Dallas. I actually walked the whole thing. It's a tour that you could take. It's pretty neat,
I think there was 2 shooters, and I think Jackie Onassis did the finishing shot and shot him right underneath the chin.
Apparently,
they were saying that the guy that was in the passenger seat, his bodyguard or something, was the guy who did the first shot.
Yeah,
maybe. But if you watch the video carefully, you see Jackie Onassis going close to him, and then his head goes back, and then she reaches for the bodyguard across the trunk. If you look carefully, you see something black when her hand opens up, and then it's gone. I personally think she fucking passed the gun off to the bodyguard. She shot him because her dad was head of organized crime, right? So
I have a question. What if it was Jacqueline that orchestrated this whole thing because her husband was cheating on her? Did you ever think of that?
Possible.
It's too big.
It was, you know what? He was messing around with Marilyn Monroe.
Maybe, she's the first lady, and she's from this prominent family, very proper lady. And you've got her husband cheating on her left and right, know.
Could have been part of it, but then you got to think though too. JFK wanted to pull everybody out of Vietnam at the time, and the warmongers are like, "No, we're making money. Let's get them. Let's get them." And it would have literally saved the United States so many lives and so much money.
6 months before he was killed, he made a statement in Congress that he wanted to remove the banks from the not the Treasury, but he wanted to bring back the U.S. greenback.
Yeah.
And I think the banksters didn't like that.
Yeah,
So
because it would have been
I think
based
that was
off
part of
gold,
it.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
bring back what?
The U.S. greenback. The
Wanted to
actual
change
US
the
greenback.
currency, the way
Yep.
that your currency is run. Right now, you guys have to go to the, what's it called again? I'm sorry.
The
Fed, the central
Yeah,
bank,
you guys got to go to the Fed to borrow
Federal
money.
Reserve.
Yeah, the Federal
Federal
Reserve
Reserve.
to borrow money for
Yeah.
your government to use.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, before that, the government had money and they would just use it, but I don't know how they screwed that system up.
Well, the banksters took over. They
The
took control.
Rothschilds,
Yeah.
Rockefellers, and
Yeah.
Jekyll Islands
Right,
is how
Yeah,
that all
yeah, the
happened.
Jekyll
The
Island. Yeah, and that's when the Federal Reserve was created. So it was like well, it's basically a private bank, right?
And
So all your banksters and gangsters, put all this money into the Federal Reserve. Meanwhile, all the taxpayers they're paying off the banksters.
Yep. And
Yeah.
every one of them are Freemasons.
Yeah, and
I bet money on it.
Apparently, the Titanic was an effort to kill the
The
rich
Astor
people,
family.
the rich people who were
Astors.
against,
Yeah.
All the
who
Astor
were
family
against
was
the
killed.
Federal Reserve.
There was another family on board too. It
Yeah,
wasn't just the Astors.
It was the daughter of the last
The chefs.
living inheritant of the Russian
Czar.
royal family there.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
knew there was another banking family on board. not just the
Anastasia?
Astors.
Anastasia. Apparently, Anastasia's aunt was on that. I don't know how true that is. And I don't think Anastasia was her name, but could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just there's some stories around how that family was on the Titanic. Not the family, but the last living heir was on the Titanic, or supposed to be. And that was another reason why they sank it.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
So
and,
That one's a conspiracy.
Well, don't forget too. After the Titanic went down, I think it was 6 months after that. That was when the meeting at Jekyll Island took place.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of
Because-
money on the
Well,
Titanic.
the thing was, the Astor family was a big opposition to the banksters from having this deal made at Jekyll Island. He was the resistance in that. It was called there's a terminology they use. Basically, it's capitalism, but it is designed to fall apart.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So the
Purposely
Astor family-
designed.
Right, purposely designed to fall apart. So Jacob Astor, the one that died on the Titanic, he was opposed to this. And they knew they had to get rid of him. If they get rid of him, they have a good chance of getting their system in place. And that's exactly what happened. So Jekyll Island happened after the Titanic went down.
I wouldn't want to be any one of those Freemasons that lived at that time, or even now that's perpetuating this. Because me, after I died, knowing what's after death, every one of those guys, wow, I wouldn't want to be them, man. Because what's coming for them isn't anything anybody can even describe. I'm telling you, they may not get it in life, but they're going to get it after death.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I don't know. Teach your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Gerald, give me some pointers on this solar system that I'm going to be putting together.
Yeah, we could do that on a private Zoom.
Yeah.
Or what did you want to do? Are you putting it on your roof, or what are you doing?
Well, no, I want to put the LED lights and sandwich the two panels together, and then take that power and put it through the oscillator, and then rectify
you want to run it
and
into your crystal cell.
Yeah. No,
That might
not
work.
into the. I could try that, but I was more or less I'm going to take the cells, put the LED lights in there, take that power coming off and put it through my oscillator and bump up the potential.
That would make it actually, that would make it free energy.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from your crystal cell.
Right.
Yeah.
Or any battery at that. It doesn't have to be the crystal cell.
See, but, I just like with the crystal cells running your LEDs, then it's worth it. Otherwise, you're not really getting a lot out in comparison.
Well, they say you have to use the full spectrum LED lights to get the highest potential out of the solar panel. So that's what, the full spectrum or the grow lights will actually work too, because they have the right light spectrum that the monocrystal solar cell picks up. So that's what you want to do. So
I could try that tomorrow, actually, just to let you know.
So what my plan is, taking that power from the cell, put it through a oscillating circuit, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, then I could send it into the batteries. And the batteries is what's running the lights that's running the solar panel. So I got a complete loop system, right?
You know what you want to use that LED solar thing for is your Adams motor.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, that would be really efficient.
Because my batteries don't run out. Like I just charged them first time in like 6 months. I charged them up, and it didn't take very long to charge those batteries up at all.
Did you want to show it off right now? Your system?
Oh, I haven't got it built yet. I just got the panels in today. So
but the battery, I mean.
Oh, the batteries you guys seen before. It's the motorcycle battery. Oh, what the crystal cell I was working on.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I did with solar a long time ago? I took those little solar tea lights that you put on in your garden to light up your garden. They're just little square solar panels, right? They're polycrystallines.
Yeah.
Well, they produce 3.4 volts each one. So I took what was it, 6? Yeah, I think 6. And I made a cube, and I put a bunch of LEDs on the inside of that, and I run those solar panels in series. I was actually able to charge a 12-volt battery with it.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't do like full power, but I was actually able to charge a battery with it. So it was interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So
there's your crystal battery.
Yeah. So you just take a...
Those are the ones you have to water, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to put some water on them. Try not get it on my laptop.
What's your max in series you've done those, Mike?
9 volts.
That's as much as you've ever gotten, or is that what you get out of that?
Just out of this, I only got 5. I could do 30, 40, 50 of these. As many as I want.
See, and it still banks in series?
Yep. Hutchison's cells, he couldn't put them in series. After he put 3 of them together, that was it. He couldn't complete like a big circuit like this.
Yeah, I remember talking to Nancy and John, and they were directly saying that was their issue.
Yep. Well, mine can. I can put 20 of these in series. 30, 40 of them.
That's a game changer.
Yeah. See, light's getting brighter as we go.
So now take each of those crystal cells, seal the top of them, turning them into the size of a brick. Take each brick, form it into the shape of a pyramid. Now you have a pyramid with each brick being a crystal battery.
Hey, there's an idea.
That's cool. That's a really cool idea.
That should be the next goal.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. But
what you got a working pyramid.
Because what I like about these is I can put 50, 60, 70, 100 of these in series, and it'll just keep multiplying.
Well, I got up to 48 geopolymer bricks, and I had to smash the whole fucking thing to bits and start again because my measurement was off. So my bricks were cut wrong, and it didn't turn out like a pyramid. So I've ordered a new 5-gallon pail of sodium silicate, and I'm going to start again. I've already broken up the geopolymer that I built, and I'm kind of liking your idea. I don't know which way I'm going to go now.
Yeah, these graphite ingot you can order on Amazon.
Those are graphite.
3 of them is about $35. They're really cool because these are used for making like if you're melting gold. So these can be put in. These can put it in a high temperature furnace, right?
You can cast gold bars in them, eh?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Really?
what these are designed for. Yeah.
Huh.
So you can put these in a blast furnace and you can melt silver or gold or whatever you want in them. Yeah.
I'll have to remember that when I order a few.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 of them are like $35 Canadian. So
yeah, it might take me a bit to get when I need to build a pyramid then if they're 3 for 35.
Yeah,
I have to make
they're
sure
a little
my
pricey,
right.
but they're very, very like the continuity is like perfect. It's like copper, right? Like it's.
Can you buy a powder form and put it into a cast and make them cheaper or less expensive?
It's a lot of work. These have to be formed at very high pressure, right?
Yeah, you got to press them.
So I'll just do a voltage test while it's under load. So it's about 3.5 volts. And then on the capacitor bank, it's about 3 volts.
Wow.
So whatever voltage this puts out, the maximum it will put out is half. So say it's 12 volts, then the max you can get stored is 6 volts. So if you need 12, so if you need 12 volts, you got to have 24 of these.
Okay, so I just came across a circuit that so far is giving me the ability to pull every volt out of any system that I've tested thus far. So I still have a few more things to test, but if I'm right, you should be able to pull the full 9 volts out of that with the circuit I can give you. It gives you the ability to charge in series and discharge in parallel.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it gives you current, right? Takes all your voltage, slams into the capacitors, and then you flip the switch and it releases them all together, giving you current.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you could hook this up in parallel and multiply your amperage, right? But you don't have the voltage. But you could do a combination of series and parallel and put these into an array and get the best of both worlds, right?
Absolutely. I'll see if I can drop a schematic of that circuit. I'll give you all the parts names and stuff.
Yeah. So these cells here are guaranteed for 10 years.
10 years, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the water you have to add, is it every day?
Yeah, just add the water every couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll just produce it. Just
your little plant.
Yeah. Water my little plant.
Or a pond fogger, like you were saying on that other channel.
Yeah. Just put it in a glass enclosure with a fogger and put it on a timer and once give it a shot every 12 hours, and this thing should just run continuously.
I want to make a 12-volt one.
I personally think these things are good for 20 years.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the alum is a preservant, and John Bendini was talking specifically about alum. It protects the magnesium from the oxidation. So that's why you use alum. And when you add water to alum, it creates the crystal structure around the magnesium. So when I first built these, I saturated them pretty good with water. Then I let them sit for about a week. And during that time, the crystal structure is forming. And then it dries. And then that structure is now done. It's ready to receive and transfer current. So all I have to do is give it a squirt of water and you're off to the races.
Almost like conditioning it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So, I'm getting the stink eye, guys. I'm going to have to take off.
Fair enough, Gerald. Thanks for joining.
thanks,
I
Gerald.
I want to do a presentation and catch up on all the projects that I talked about prior, because they're almost all done. It's just I haven't had time to get on here. I had computer problems. I had to bring it into a friend, and I'm getting a new computer built. I'm getting Alienware.
Yeah,
No more
that's what I
screwing
have.
around.
That's
Yeah.
what I have. Before you leave, Gerald, I wanted to create a little dilemma in your brain before you leave, so you're not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Give it to me.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
So, you know quarks, they
Not personally, but
yeah, not personally, but the quarks, they kind of they're supposed to be inside protons and neutrons, but what defines the wall of the proton and neutron? Why are the quarks just chaotic, just like you see right there? You know what prevents the quarks from escaping from the wall of the proton or the neutron?
Isn't it the
Quarks have always been quacky
Well,
to me. It just
I
doesn't make
think
sense.
I know, but to put it into words properly, I might want to sleep on that one.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to be able to sleep. That's what he told
yeah,
you.
that's my point.
You're gonna have a full soundboard by the end of the year. I can
Right?
see it happening.
Yeah, you know what? No, I'm gonna set up all
explosions and-
kinds of weird sounds in
You're
it
gonna
too.
Yeah, you're gonna have explosions and
DJ
laser
Gerald's
sounds.
free energy.
Screw the end of the
God.
year.
Oh my god.
It's happening already.
I'm getting it together. All right, guys, I have to go.
Amazing.
All right.
It's
Much
been
love,
awesome.
Gerald.
So
Yeah.
have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Amazing.
Oh man.
Fun toy.
Oh, God. That's hilarious. Remember that game back in the day was called Merlin? That round thing, Merlin, and it had all the lights. Merlin. It had the 4 lights on it, and it would do all these patterns, and you had to copy it.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah, Merlin. Yeah, that was back in the 80s.
The new version is called a Bop It. Like it's like this little toy, and like you said, twist it, tap it, like shake it. Like it gives you these commands, but it's like you have to do it so fast. Yeah, I know. This is the modern day of that. Like my kids have a toy. Yes.
That's crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about the pyramids.
Yeah. Well, it's I listened to Ken Wheeler last week, and he was talking about it, and he said,
I liked his take on that.
Yeah, it's a piezoelectric generator. The second he saw the structures, he goes, "That's piezoelectric."
A giant piezoelectric generator.
Yeah, electrostatic generator. Yeah.
And,
I'm so curious to go down there to see what's there.
It's massive. It's just huge. The scale.
Apparently, they knew about this since the 1950s.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did, but they were hiding it for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely piezoelectric. The way the columns are, they could have been filled with water. Apparently there was supposedly a river that went through that area back in the day.
Okay.
That was basically, I guess the water would be like an aquifer underneath that was filling up those chambers.
Yeah, the Nile connected to the pyramid.
Right. Exactly. So what happened to that? Why did it disappear? So I think there had to have been some sort of cataclysm.
I can explain what happened. They made massive dams up the Nile River to prevent the flood basin, which is down there, from flooding once a year, which would have created the water flow and drying, and probably the reaction with the glowing of the pyramid still from the activation of that yearly event.
Yeah.
You know what would be awesome if they tested another pyramid, like the ones in Mexico, to see if they had the same,
They,
underlying.
you know what? I think there is a connection with every single one of them.
I'm very curious to know if like all of them were built with that system, and
It's basically, it could be a very like an ancient version of the Wardenclyffe tower system that Tesla wanted to recreate.
yeah,
Because there's a video out there actually about the Eiffel Tower, and apparently Tesla and Sir Eiffel, or whatever his name was, they had a meeting together. They had dinner together, and they were talking about their concepts. And apparently, the Eiffel Tower was rigged out to receive all the power from Wardenclyffe. It was an antenna. It was a power transmitter. It was going to be tower number 2.
very interesting.
That's fascinating.
Uh-huh.
Because there was a bunch of like Eiffel Tower systems made around the world at that time too.
Right. And they were all designed to connect to Wardenclyffe. That's why Rockefeller shut that down. He knew if he took out Tesla, the other guys wouldn't be successful in getting theirs up. That's why he took it out. He was in the midst of making the global power system. Wardenclyffe was tower number 1. Tower number 2 was the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And then so on. So, and I seen some pictures of what they were doing at the top of the tower. And apparently there was a few nights where the towers actually had a blue corona all the way around the tower. The whole tower was glowing with energy.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
I think he coupled with Wardenclyffe.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. By the way, do you guys see the lights in the sky in Canada? Like, or are you guys not that?
Oh yeah, we see northern lights here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the solar flare.
All the time when there isn't snow clouds blocking the view, like right now.
Okay, so that's like one of the my bucket list. One of the things.
Last year was one of the best years in Ontario to see the northern lights on record.
Well, they're only getting more and more active. I personally think the sun's in a new cycle, and like even last night, like there was snow clouds, but you could see the red glow behind them and like green glow behind them towards the mountains, and it's like,
I'm not sure.
It's active. It's super active.
I'm curious. I'm not sure if we're in a solar maximum again or if the sun's going dormant. Now, I also heard, too, that the actual color of the sun is changing. It's changing more to a white light.
White. Yeah, it used to be yellow. Now it's white. It's like the prophecies are being fulfilled. Phase. We're in a new age of the sun.
Does that affect our planet, though? With the
of course it does. And that's why this global warming, right? Like they're used to in the 80s as a kid, lots of pictures, ice caps on Mars, ice caps on the moon. Where did they go? They don't exist anymore. The entire solar system heating up? I think so.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Right? Like I literally have printed pictures on my bedroom wall of the Mars ice caps. There's ice on Mars from the freaking 80s when it had ice caps. What, like... Again, they're now trying to claim, we just discovered water and ice on Mars.
If anybody wants a good read, you should look up Trevor Constable. He talks about the electric universe. And he has some pretty interesting theories. And actually, even Eric Dollard made some comments on his theory. And he says he's pretty close. So Trevor Constable, he passed away, I think 6 years ago, just before COVID, he passed away. And he put out a few good books. One of them was called The Electric Universe. So you might want to look him up.
Yeah, he rings me a bell, Electric Universe, but I never read this book.
Yeah.
Electric
Universe.
Yeah.
Should look it up.
So what's up with Do you guys know Nassim Haramein?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've met him in person twice. I like his work.
Oh, yeah. He was in Hawaii, doing his research for a while
Yeah, he lives
ago.
there. He lives
He
there.
was
Yeah,
there.
he was a professional skier. He lived in Calgary. He was
Yeah, I
actually
know.
yeah, he was I think he was part of the Canadian national team at
Oh,
one
yeah.
point. He was a trainer or something. He had some involvement with the Canadian national team back in the 90s and early 2000s. And then he started getting into the science stuff and just got away from the whole ski thing. But yeah, he's a professional skier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he now lives full time in Hawaii. So
But he's originally from Canada, I think.
Iran
actually,
originally, but then he
Iran?
immigrated to Canada as a child.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And sorry, I'm mistaken. His new research facility is actually in France. He's in France right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's working with a couple of French professors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
America said no bueno. I actually about 7-8 years ago saw a video of like Nassim's American what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess like government lab, and like there was like this American military research dude that like leaked this video, and they had these like crazy pods that were like apparently like they're space pods and stuff. It was wild, and I've tried to find
Space
the video
pods.
since and can't find it anywhere.
Space pods. What do you mean by space
Like
pods?
they were like these little shuttles that were like these like spaceship pod things, and
Oh, okay, like microsatellites or something?
no, like for humans to travel in, there was like 5 seats in each of them. It was freaking crazy.
Oh, really?
And haven't been able to find that video or mention of it since.
Interesting. Never heard of that one.
I don't know. I think I saw something similar to that, but recently, like the little pods, like yeah, exactly, little pods that little spaceships.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
wild. Blew my mind.
I'll go back in my history of YouTube. If I find it, I'll email it to you.
Please do, because
Yeah. I saw
I'm trying
this
to find it
something
since.
recently. Wow. Interesting.
But yeah, man, I applied just like 10 years ago just because I saw the guy was surfing every day in Hawaii. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
I
he's in
applied.
France. Yeah, he's got a lab there in France.
But
So it's
who finances him? I heard it's the Rockefeller that finances
I'm not sure.
Nassim for his work.
Oh, that would
Sure.
be why those videos are suppressed and the public's never seen any of it.
Yeah,
Right now it's for the International Space Federation, I think. That's all it's called.
Yeah, I was just looking into his work again, like the last couple of weeks, and that's exactly the group.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the French want their Statue of Liberty back?
Really?
I don't know. Something
It's all
Go
it's
for
all,
it, Macron.
it's all rusted out, anyways.
like you really want it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
and
and get it from America's dead, bloody hands.
and the the girl, the conference speaker, the secretary that speaks to the journalists. She said, "Well, maybe we shouldn't save you from World War II,
Two?
because
not Pam Bondi, the other one, the press secretary, right? Yeah.
the
Yeah,
press
press
secretary. Yeah, that's what she said. That's pretty funny.
Oh man.
Right.
Just opening up
politics
a big can of worms
become,
there.
But that's pretty stupid. Trump, all Trump wants to do is stop the war, instead of financing it. So it makes sense.
Just starting, to prevent World War III and save France from World War III before it even happened.
Yeah.
Just like they saved them in World War II, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, apparently Poland's very close to getting involved in the war because
Poland just came out and said they could last 2 weeks. They had 2 worth of ammunition if they got into a war.
But apparently Putin's been flying their warplanes in Polish airspace, so the Poles are a little PO'd about it.
Yeah.
So
let's be grateful that you guys live in Canada. We live in the United States, and we, don't have the issues of what they have on that.
Giant ocean separating us from hostile forces. Yay!
well, I'm afraid that the hostile forces are already inside the United States. I'd be worried about a civil war.
Yeah, the enemy is from within.
It won't happen in Texas. I'll tell you that. It won't happen in Texas. We're like, fully.
Well, no, the
down-
rest of the country will burn down.
Yeah.
The rest of the
It's-
country's going to try to take Texas. 'Cause Texas is like, F you, we're the Lone Star. We'll take it alone.
Dude, we've got the weapons here, so I don't know what the
True.
would
Very
be
true.
So.
California is going to be the first state to submit. Because, man, sometimes I'm talking to people.
Yeah, there's all this talk about Canada becoming the 51st state. What about California just becoming the 14th or 15th province, right? I think that's more like
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after they go after the Civil War, they might want to join Confederation afterwards. Oh,
no
man.
war.
God forbid that would ever happen. It would be a big problem. And you know what's scary about that is all those FEMA camps that the Americans built all over the states. And apparently I heard that they had something like 6 million body bags on order.
For what?
And they showed it in one of the warehouses somewhere in the South. I saw a YouTube video and it's been taken down now.
Are
The
they
guys goes,
anticipating something?
Yeah. 6 million body bags ready to go, being shipped. Like they're almost like preparing for something.
That's what sounds like.
Maybe another pandemic or maybe civil unrest or something like that. But yeah.
Or the other thing, what's up with the China buying farmlands all over the place?
And
Yeah.
all next to American military bases. That's the big point.
There are a lot of secrets in this world, and just one little thing triggers the knowledge of the other, of why that, it's I don't know, man, it's a confusing world. Like you don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I want to get something off my chest right now. Hey, Bernie, you're a smart guy, but you pretend you're not.
Well, see, once you actually show it, then people expect it. So it's like, it's safer just to play dumb and sit back in the back of the room and listen, right? But appreciate you, Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Chat's been good tonight.
So tomorrow is going to be the
Tomorrow is the tribute to Pantera. You guys come over.
Stream it live. We'll watch with you.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, stream it live. We'll watch with you.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm pretty beat. I've had a busy week.
Appreciate you all. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Philip, Lulu, Bernie, and Gerald is probably sleeping right now. The madman.
No, he's serving his daughters and wife. He was beckoned off.
Always
He's a good man. He's a good man. All right, guys. Chat, you're great. Thanks a lot. We go live to air again next week, Friday night at 9:00 Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific.
8 o'clock Central.
And sorry?
8 o'clock Central.
8 o'clock Central.
7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 Pacific. Be here, be square.
We're global. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see everybody next week.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Guys, stay on after we go off.